Hello everyone, this is teacher Suzie and welcome to my class. In this video, I am going to discuss how to solve problems involving quadratic equation. And this problem that flashes on your screen is an example of a word problem na makikita sa learning module week number 4, page number 3. And we can solve this using any of the methods we discussed before in solving quadratic equations. So let's read the problem. It says in here that Valenzuela city government wants to place a new rectangular tarpaulin. So again, the shape of the tarpaulin is rectangle. So let us draw the rectangle. So rectangular siya. Okay, so let's say this is the tarpaulin. Continue. Valenzuela city government wants to place a new rectangular tarpaulin to inform everyone about the general community quarantine or the GCQ protocols. Suppose the length of the tarpaulin to be placed is 4 meters, okay, longer than the width. So, ang ating length daw ay mas mahaba ng 4 meters kesa sa width. And the area is 96 meters squared. So, what will be the length and the width of the tarpaulin? So, ang width natin and the length ay hindi given yung kanilang exact value. So, we will represent for the length and the width. So, let's start with the width first because yung length natin is 4 meter longer than the width and we do not know yet what is the width. So, let us represent a variable for width. So, let x be the width. Alright? So, hindi natin alam. So, we represented this with x. And then, the length, ang sabi, 4 meters longer than the width. So, longer than, it means that the operation is addition. So, the width plus 4. So, that will be the length. Alright? And again, continue natin. The area is 96 meter squared. Another given is the area. So, 96 meters squared is the area. So, again, maglalagay daw ng tarpaulin ng Valenzuela City about GCQ protocols. Rectangular yung shape ng ating tarpaulin. And then, given the dimensions, the width is not given. So, we represented that with x. And then, ang sabi, the length is 4 meters longer than the width. Since the width is x, so we have x. And then, plus 4 as the length. And then, given the area, that is 96 meters squared. So, again, if this is the tarpaulin, itong length niya ay x plus 4. Itong width ay x. So, what is asked is the length and the width of the tarpaulin. So, kailangan natin malaman ano itong x na ito at ano din yung x plus 4 na yan. So, for us to be able to solve for the length and the width, we have first to identify ano ba ang value ng x. And for us to do that, so we will apply yung mga pinag-aralan natin before on how to solve quadratic equations. So, given ang length and width and area, so we will be using the area. Okay? And we know that the formula for the area is length times width. So, substituting the value, so again, area is 96 according to the given. That is equal to the length. The length is represented by x plus 4 times the width, which is x. So, we have now formed an equation. So, let us solve for this. Distribute x to x plus 4. So, first we will copy 96. So, that's equal to x times x, which is x squared. And then 4 times x, which is 4x. So, we have here now a quadratic equation. If we're gonna move 96 on the other side of the equal sign, ito ay magiging, so lipat si 96, so 0 ang matitira dito. So, we're gonna have copy x squared plus 4x. And then 96 will become negative 96. Or, we can write this also as x squared plus 4x minus 96 equals 0 according to the symmetric property. Alright? So, kopyahin natin dito. We have x squared plus 4x minus 96 equals 0. So, this is a quadratic equation already and it is written in standard form. So we can now solve this quadratic equation using any of the four methods na diniscuss natin before. But we cannot use extracting the square root because b is not equal to 0. So we will just choose among factoring, completing the square, and the quadratic formula. So bahala kayo kung anong gusto ninyong gamitin sa tatlo. Okay? So here, let us use factoring. Alright? So, we will prepare two parentheses and then we will copy equals 0. Factor natin ang x squared. Those are x and x. And then, let's factor negative 96 na pag inad natin, the sum will be positive 4. So, ano yon? So, if we'll think of that, we're gonna get positive 12 and negative 8. Because 12 times negative 8 is negative 96. Pag inad natin, 12 plus negative 8, that is equal to positive 4. Okay? Now, these factors that as make them equation, or we apply the zero product property. So, this will become, so this is x plus 12 equals 0. And yung isa, x minus 8 equals 0. So, let's solve for x. So, here, x is equal to negative 12. And here, x is equal to positive 8. So we have now the values of x. So again, going back to the problem, x is the representation for the width. So again, we talk about measurement. So, ang nasolve nating values ng x ay negative 12 and positive 8. And if we're talking about measurement, hindi tayo pwedeng magkaroon ng negative. Right? We discussed that from our previous example. So, hindi natin pwedeng kunin ang negative 12 because measurement cannot be negative. So, therefore, kukunin natin ang x equals 8. So, the value of x is positive 8. So, going back here, therefore, the width, which is represented by x, so we have width is x, which is equal to 8. And the length, which is represented by x plus 4, is, so magiging 8 plus 4 na ito. So, that is equal to 12. So, going back to the problem, what will be the length and the width of the tarpaulin? So, therefore, the length, we can have a conclusion that the length of the tarpaulin is 8. So, what's the unit? Oh, the length. So, it's not 8, it's 12. Okay. The length of the tarpaulin is 12. So, the unit used in the problem is meter. So, this is 12 meters. And the width is, so width is x. So, that is 8. 8 meters. So, that will be all. I hope that you learned from this lesson. So, I will be discussing problem number 2 on my next video. So, thank you for watching. See you again. Bye.